Hello, thank you for joining me. So today we're taking a look at what is going on with the energies for the 26th and the 27th of September. These readings are not zodiac specific, okay? They are for absolutely everybody. Right, the purse. Pay attention to your finances. Right, so not necessarily you, okay? It could be someone else that you're dealing with. So I'll say someone. You can fill in the blanks, okay? Somebody is not being smart with their finances, right? They are needing to put a lot more thought into their purchases. They're quite possibly taking their finances for granted here, right? The quill, get back to basics, yeah. I definitely feel like someone is overspending, and it's not through necessity. Somebody's doing this because they're not thinking of the long-term consequences, okay? It's like that they're being really impulsive with their purchases, okay? So this isn't someone doing this out of necessity. They're doing it because they just want to, right? Wow, the axe, forces working against you. So someone's needing to take their spending back to basics, and they've got forces that are working against them at this time. There's a message of like sabotage that's going on. Someone's finances are potentially being sabotaged, right? So here's the thing, I kind of feel like somebody, again, not necessarily you, this could be someone else that you're thinking of or someone else that you're dealing with. Somebody has given access to an irresponsible individual. They've given them access to their finances, right? It's kind of like moving in with someone within a week. And then on week 2, that new partner straight away has got access to their bank account, right? Not smart, not sensible at all. And it's causing massive issues, huge problems, a massive challenge. Again, this isn't necessarily you. This could be another person that you've tried to warn. Look, don't let them get their feet under your table because they're going to take advantage of you, right? And they've not listened. They've gone ahead and done it anyway. It's caused huge problems here. Lightning, control your anger or you'll be sorry, right? So when someone finds out about this irresponsible behavior to do with finances and resources, they're going to be pissed. They're going to be so pissed. Right, let's take a look at the tarot. Honestly, it screams to me like somebody has been taking advantage of another individual's sweet nature. Clearly, whoever's done this, whoever gave that irresponsible individual access to their finances, that's like a personality type that wants to believe in the best of everybody. Oh no, they wouldn't do that. Oh no, they're not like that. Do you know what I mean? It is naive. It is definitely naive. And I say that in the nicest way possible, okay? Because I'm understanding that whoever's done this, they had good intentions. They definitely had good intentions. And they are being taken advantage of, right? So let's take a closer look at what's going on. Can you tell us more about this energy, please? Let's just pay attention to your finances. Well, The Six... Okay, shit. The Six of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. So somebody was trusted with these finances. Because there's a long history here with that individual. It's almost as if the excuse is coming out of, well, do you know what? I've known this person for many, many years. I grew up with this person. I'm just helping them out. They wouldn't do that to me. They wouldn't take advantage of me. I'm just helping them out. Yet they have absolutely taken advantage. 100%. There's nostalgic reasons here connected to why someone was so generous with that individual. There's definitely nostalgic reasons. What's this getting back to basics? Strange read. Very strange read. The Three of Pentacles. Yeah. It's time to speak to someone. This is also putting things out on display. Right? Collaborating with others, problem solving with others, working through it with others. There's help here for whoever this is that's been taken advantage of financially. There is help available to them. They're just needing to take those initial steps. Knight of Cups, that's come out squiffy. Could well be some kind of love scam here. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. Because I'm feeling for the vast majority of whoever's resonating with this one, this is actually an individual that you've known a long time, that you trusted, that you never thought for a single second was going to take advantage of you. And then lo and behold, they've taken advantage. There is absolutely a betrayal that's going on with this. Knight of Cups coming out squiffy. And I feel like somebody doesn't want to talk about it because they don't even want to think about it. But the problem is, if it's not dealt with, then obviously it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. Right? Can you tell us more about this for our collective, please? What's going on? So the card deck, the way that it's handling, it's very, it's not smooth, okay? The energy's not smooth. It's very stop, start, stop, start. That's how it feels when I'm handling it anyway. Which kind of indicates to me that someone has tried to have this conversation. And their concerns were being brushed off almost immediately. No, that's not happening. No, that's not what's going on. And that's exactly what's going on. Queen of Wands. Attraction energy. Charismatic. I feel like someone used their charisma with ill intent. And now you've got the Hermit that's coming out. Someone was taken in. They were taken in by a Knight of Cups squiffy. They were taken in by someone's sob stories. Okay. Can you tell us more about getting back to basics? A King of Wands. it was believed that there was an attraction here, okay? Because the King of Wands goes with the Queen of Wands. Again, it screams to me as some kind of love scam. There might well be a friend here who has been taken advantage financially of another person under the guise of, we will be in a relationship together. Right? So it's not necessarily one of these traditional love scams, you know, where someone meets another person online and then they start chatting, and then after some years have passed you discover actually that this is an individual who's, you know, running a whole scam business, whatever, right? I don't feel like it's one of those types of situations. I feel like this is a friend who has been taking advantage of another individual under the guise of, one day we will be together. That's the type of love scam that this feels like it is. And whoever it is that's being taken advantage of, you're being asked, okay, get back to basics. If you cut off their access, or whoever's going through this, they need to cut off that person's access to their finances. And you will see how quickly their tune will change. What's this axe? Page of Cups. It could be a water sign, or you could be a water sign. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. You don't have to be, okay? Again, there is a message of kindness, generosity, sweet nature, naivety, this desire to help others, this want, this willingness to help others. Whoever this is, they do not want to see anyone else suffer. But they themselves are currently suffering. Someone's putting themselves last. There's people pleasing that's going on. Yeah, a King of Swords. There's possibly a water sign who is people-pleasing towards an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Emphasis on Aquarius, because that's an Aquarius card. Or the other way around. Again, take it as it resonates. Someone's not using their brain. They're not using their logic. They're not looking at the evidence that's right in front of them. Because they have feelings for this person. They don't want to admit this person's taking the piss. Why? Because they're possibly in love with the person who's taking the piss. Don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like when good people are punished for being good. When good people are targeted by predators because they're good people. I don't like it. Four of Swords, yeah. It's time to reconsider that person's access to you. And certainly to your funds, if this is you. It's time for that soul searching. It's time for that deep evaluation. Someone isn't thinking. They're not thinking. They're going purely by emotions and how they feel. That's why it's hard with that mountain. Major challenge to overcome. It's hard to turn this person down. It's hard to turn them away. It's hard to tell them no. It's hard for someone to stand up for themselves because they're in love with this person. And it's overwriting their own logic. A King of Pentacles reversed, that's a loss. That's a huge financial loss. King of Pentacles reversed. That's someone getting drained. And again, financially inept. Someone being greedy. Exploiting a decent individual for anything and everything that they can get. Very, very wasteful. Tell us more about this major challenge. They're taking and they're overspending because they're greedy. They feel like they're entitled to it. Ace of Cups and the Eight of Pentacles. This is someone who loves an individual because of what they're providing for them, because what they're doing for them. They don't actually know the real meaning of love. This is all about convenience. And what is convenient? Challenge, King of Pentacles reversed, Ace of Cups and the Eight of Pentacles. Screams of a love scam. This King of Pentacles reversed, and I've mentioned it before because it's come out in a reading before, and definitely in this context of this reading, that's a hobosexual. Man or woman doesn't make a difference. That's a hobosexual. Now someone's faced with the major challenge of how the fuck they're going to get them out their home, out of their bank account, out of their life. I feel now like someone understands the gravity of how much damage that person has actually been doing. It's still difficult though, because there are still feelings of love towards that person. It's not easy. It's not easy, and there are no easy solutions, no easy answers to that. Somebody's got a lot of work to do. A lot. And they need to start today. Because the longer this goes on, the more debt is building. And the worse the situation is becoming. Somebody has been taken in by this person. They know exactly what they're doing. Someone's been taken in by him. They fell for the charm, the charisma. They fell for the lines, the silver-tongued lines of, oh, you're different from everyone else that I've met. right? Someone was taken in by that. Flattered, almost. And it's cost them. It's cost them. Can you tell us more about this Eight of Pentacles? Again, really difficult situation, right? Because what's coming out here, it's resource abuse, okay? It's resource abuse. Not everybody is going to resonate with this reading, and do you know what? That's absolutely fine. Somebody needs to hear the message, though. I just can't figure out what side of the table that you're sitting on for this. Were you the one that's been taken in by this hobosexual? Or are you the one that tried to warn another person that they were getting involved with a hobosexual? It's one or the other. Tell us more about this Eight of Pentacles. Very generous, aren't they, with other people's money? This hobosexual. Very generous with other people's money. Nine of Wands and the Five of Cups, yeah. The one who is taken in by this, they are believing that they have to stick it out. They are believing, I've got no choice. I'm in too deep now. If I kick them out now, if I cut them off now, then what was it all for? It would mean that all of this was for nothing. It's possible that there might be a child involved now as well. Which complicates the situation even further. Because it means that this hobosexual has potentially kneecapped their victim, if you will. Again, man or woman doesn't matter. It's not about gender. It's about the energies. And I'm not going to give that individual too much credit either. Yeah, they planned it to a certain extent. They absolutely did. As far as the type of person that they picked to take advantage of. They planned that. What a depressing energy. Someone's getting angry. They need to get angry. They need to get angry because that's the starting point of changing something. Lightning, control your anger or you'll be sorry. So someone needs to feel that anger. Fuck me, I was taken in by this. Look at all the damage that's been caused. You're entitled to your anger. If that's you are entitled to your anger. You have to feel it. Do not ignore it. But what you don't do is you don't take action while you're angry. That's why they're saying control your anger. It doesn't say ignore your anger. It says control your anger. Anger makes people stupid. Controlled action is what is required from the individual who is taken in by this fucking menace. And that's not, I'm putting it lightly. They're a menace. Tell us more about this lightning. Brow Collective, please. You could be feeling angry on behalf of whoever this is that's been taken in by this individual. Hierophant in the world. Promises, commitments, endings. It's someone's belief that they made a promise. They could have ended up being married to this person. They might take their vows very, very seriously, which is fair enough. But when an individual is being incredibly hurtful and abusive, fairly certain you're going to be given a free pass for needing to break your vow. Somebody's using the excuse, well, I'm from a broken home and I don't want my kids to come from a broken home, so do you know what, I'm going to sit here in misery and I have to just put up with it. Which is bullshit. Six of Pentacles. Five of Wands. I feel like every 5 minutes somebody is having their promises or their vows, their commitment thrown back in their face. I mean, I'm genuinely struggling with this energy, okay? I'm genuinely struggling because I feel like it's gotten to the point where somebody is so just drowning in this problem that they can no longer find the words to articulate themselves. Because they're drowning in it. They're drowning in the debt. They're drowning in the mental abuse, emotional abuse. And anybody who's like, oh, just leave. It's not always that simple. It isn't always that fucking simple. What's under there? Five of Pentacles. Another five. Ten of Cups and Six of Swords and the Devil. So one of these individuals is expected to uphold their promises while the other one just does whatever the fuck they like and has no regard whatsoever for the promises that they made. What? We've got someone who's jumped out of the fire, out of the frying pan and landed straight in the friggin' fire. Five of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, Six of Swords and the Devil. That Six of Swords is heading straight towards that devil energy. What did they give up on? a Ten of Cups. They thought the grass was greener elsewhere. They've thrown away a Ten of Cups. And they landed straight at the devil's front door. I just can't even... How? Why? Nine of Wands and the Moon. It's like they were enchanted. Yes, Ace of Wands. The Moon and the Ace of Wands. Yeah. Again, everyone's got free will, right? Everyone does have free will. They all make their own free will ass decisions. There is enchantment here. What I mean by that is manipulations. It's not something that comes out of my readings very often. But when it does, it's unmistakable. Okay. You got a combination here of someone targeting a very specific type of person. And then they start with the very fast, very over-the-top display of love and affection. Enchanted them with stories of how much of a hero they are and this, that and the next. And quite possibly some other type of enchantment. Moon magic. Yeah, the High Priestess under there. That's moon magic. It's insane. Someone threw away a fucking family for that. What? What? It's fucking mental. Can I have a healing message, please? Balanced emotions and wisdom has come out in reverse. I've got to pay attention to every single message that comes out of the tarot, no matter how it comes out. Someone is not... They're not emotionally regulated. Or they were not emotionally able to regulate themselves when they met this menace, this hobosexual. It was someone's belief that another person could give them validation, that another person could give them purpose in life. So they were very emotionally vulnerable when they met this individual. They threw all common sense out of the fucking window, all their wise decision making out of the window. They made very bad decisions, very poor judgment calls. And I'm not going to say that this hobosexual is some kind of professional, because they're absolutely not. They're not. They're just a chancing little bastard. They've taken advantage of someone here 100%. And now the person that they've taken advantage of is getting to that point of recognizing this isn't right, this isn't normal, this isn't healthy. And then they're starting to get angry about their situation. They need to feel that anger. Have a healing message for our collective, please. Overcome fear. Someone needs to overcome the fear of getting rid of this person out of their lives. I just can't even. This is someone young. Either they're very young or they met this individual when they were very young. Like, this is someone young with a much, much older person. For some, not for everybody. It could just be like emotionally young as well, right? Overcoming fear. Okay. The unknown can be frightening, and it's easy for those feelings to intensify in the darkness or when we feel exhausted. Make sure all of your needs are met and you're well rested. It takes patience, consistency, and validation to rewire the old paths of your thoughts. Perhaps a past experience is triggering the current emotions, so acknowledge the reasons why you feel this way. Note the way that you speak to yourself. You are strong and powerful, and you can overcome anything, but also remember to be gentle and patient with who you are. Move slowly and at your own pace, and see yourself shining in the bright, warm light of this glowing candle. Use this card when you need to face your fears or anxiety. Create a safe space in your mind by imagining lighting a candle, or you can actually light a real candle, okay? The candle represents your bravery, and the prickly branches on this card are all of your fears and anxieties, okay? So that's like the bordering branches. Look at the card again and envision the light shining brighter and stronger until it spills over the edges of the card and out into reality. Feel the burden dissolve and notice how light this new feeling of love and trust becomes. And then your affirmation, I can manage my feelings. Okay? I can manage my feelings. And if you recall, you had balanced emotions and wisdom both coming out in the reverse as a bonus message. Right. Okay. Let's see if we can uplift this reading with wonderful words of wisdom from the Shitty deck. Just to, breathe a bit of life into the space again, okay? Because they do say laughter is one of the highest vibrations. Right, you've got to grab shit by the balls and have the courage to say, fuck this shit, and do whatever it is that you need to do. Okay? But yeah, that is what I have for you guys today. That was definitely one of the more difficult readings that I've had out in a while. But like I said, it's not going to resonate for everybody, okay? Somebody needs to hear that message, though. But yeah, if you feel that a personal reading with me is going to be of benefit for you, then my website is phoenixkeiatarot.com. The link for that is in my description box below. Thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.